Hi guys, and welcome to today's task. For today's task, we are going to be bringing a little illumination to this house. We have started on all the electrical and it is almost all the way done for the upstairs. Tomorrow we start on the basement electrical, but we're just finishing up with can lights, and we are going to put a can light right above this window. I consider this light an iconic light because it goes above the sink and it's only going to be on one circuit by itself, and it'll just be that light you want to turn on maybe when you come in and wash the dishes or something at night, or just got to get a drink at night or whatever. I don't know, it reminds me of my grandma's house, so I have one in my house and I love it, and I want to put one in this house as well. Okay guys, let's first talk about the differences between can lights. This is a new construction can light. This light spans between your trusses or floor joists, upstairs or basement, whichever you're putting it in, and you separate these plugs to nail in and position it where you want. We've used them throughout the house, and they went into the new construction area of the home here. Because sheetrock is already in place where we're going to be putting this can light, we will use a remodel can. So if you have a bathroom that you want to update with can lights, or a living room you want to update with can lights, you're going to use these remodel cans. They slip up through the hole that we're going to drill, and then they clamp down on the sheetrock. They're very snug, they hold well, and this is a great option, and it's what I really prefer to use. These are great for new construction, but I've really just been familiar with these most of the time. For today's task, you are going to be using a few tools. One, you will need a set of wire strippers. I recommend a set that will strip both 14-2 wire or 12-2 wire. Most likely in your house, it's 14-2 or 12-2 wire. There could be differences, just pay attention to that. If you're not sure what you're looking at, you'll know by size and how these fit around it, but you do need a decent set of strippers, and these are available at almost all hardware stores. I recommend owning a pair for all of your DIY stuff. Also, you will need a screwdriver, a multi-tool version, so it can do flathead or Phillips, and the big or small ends that are interchangeable. That's my favorite one because it's most versatile. Next, for cutting our hole, there are two different types of hole saws we can use. One is a fixed size. This one is really strong. It has really good teeth, and it's capable of drilling through just about anything in your ceiling. But this is only set for 6 inches. You can get them set for 4 inches or whatnot, but they are fixed and they cannot change. But this drill is capable of drilling through ceilings that have plaster and chicken wire as well, which my personal house did have, and I had to destroy a few of these to get those cut. Next is kind of a more simple version, but it's really versatile. This is adjustable. This one can go from 7-inch hole saw for 7-inch cans all the way down to 2.5-inch cans. This one's really versatile, and it also comes with a dust collector, so it minimizes the mess you're going to make. You will make a huge mess when cutting these. Have a vacuum ready and make sure the floor is covered in a tarp in some way, or else you will ruin your carpet. Only caveat to this one is it is not capable of cutting through anything harder than sheetrock. If you have a base layer for some reason of plaster on your ceiling, this will not cut through it. You will ruin this blade, and then you'll chew apart your ceiling as well. So just keep that in mind. If it's newer construction, sheetrock, you're good to go. If you do not have the option of a hole saw or a drill capable of doing that, which you need a very powerful drill, you can go to the tried and true keyhole saw. This is going to wear out your arms, you're going to be tired, but it will work just fine. All can lights come with a template that allows you to put it in the center of where you want it, trace it, and then you can cut around that and it will work perfectly. So this is a good option. I keep it with me when I do these anyway, because sometimes I have to kind of carve them just a little bit out of shape or whatnot to make them fit really well. So I like having this tool with me. Guys, let's get started. A couple tools that I forgot to mention are you're gonna need your gloves. You need leather gloves for this project. Wire will chew your hands to pieces, cut them, and you won't realize it until you go wash your hands at the end of the task, and they will burn like crazy. So wear leather gloves. It also prevents you getting from shocked. Hopefully you're not working with live wires as well. You need a measuring tape, and then the coolest tool in the world is a stud finder, but this one is particularly awesome for this reason. Most stud finders will just come across the wall and say, hey, there's a stud here, and it kind of just tells you, I don't know, whatever. This one, on the other hand, comes across and shows me right in the wall where that is. I know if I draw a line here and here, I am going to be outside of that stud, and I do not want to hit any studs with this, so this is a great tool. I will link this guy with all the other tools down in the description. This one shows me that there's a stud right here. I know I want to center this light right above this window, but that may not be possible with this stud right here. So we're gonna go as close to center as we possibly can get. So center of this window is 16 3/4. Now if I go from the middle over 3 inches, I'm actually in the clear of that joist just barely. That's pretty good news. So I know this is where it's gonna go, is along here. How far out do I wanna come? I know that my cabinets come out about 24 inches, so I'm gonna go half that, just 1 foot. We are ready to go, and I am gonna use this dustless one to show you how clean it really does keep things. It's still a little bit dusty, but it's not near as bad as the other ones. One thing to note when cutting can lights is the drill, whichever drill you're using, is most likely gonna try and whip out of your hands. So you need to keep a good strong grip on it and really make sure you're holding that thing as tight as you possibly can. There are 3 different bits on this particular hole saw. This is your arbor bit, and then these are your 2 cutting blades. This one will punch your center hole, and the other 2 will mark the entire 6-inch circle we need. So line up your arbor bit with the hole. Start the drill in slow. Once your teeth are touching, now slowly start it. And there is no need to push, it'll slowly just cut through. When you're done, you come out and you've got a perfectly cut circle. There we go, our hole saw has done its job and we are ready to put this can light in. Now it's time for the crappiest part of the entire job, is reaching up to find our wire. We sent a wire over earlier and I'm looking for it, and that's the wire I need to pull in for my can light. So I'm gonna reach up through all that dusty mess. Hey, that wasn't so bad. And pull it through. With our screwdriver set to the flathead side, now we're ready to prep this can light for wire. These little squares right here are inlets for wire, and so are these, but we don't need those big ones. You'll just need these ones. And if you're linking these, you'll need 2 of them, but we're only just running power to it, so we're gonna use 1. So you pry back on it, kind of wiggle it back and forth, and it pops right off. Then you're gonna open up the box. There will be installation instructions inside as well. You can keep those to use, but it's pretty simple. Inside the box you'll find 3 wires. A ground, which will be always bare copper, a white, which will be our neutral, and a black, which will be our hot. I repeat the same order whenever I'm installing these. No matter how many 100 I've done, I do it the exact same way every time. I do the ground first, the neutral next, and the hot last. That way I keep them all in order, and it's just a routine process. I never screw it up, because the last thing you want to do is have to chase down which can light was not put in properly. Now with our can light prepped and our wire hanging and ready to go, we are ready to strip it. I always come back usually about 5 inches and strip it on the 14-2 side. Be careful not to clip your wires, but you pull off the sleeve. Then you pull off the paper that covers your ground. So what you're left with is 3 wires, a white, a copper, and a black. Those are the 3 wires we need, and they match up exactly to our can light. Now we'll strip the ends of these back a little bit. I like to go about 3/4 of an inch on the black and the white, and the copper's already stripped, so you don't need to worry about it. I like to do all this work beforehand, before I stick it in here, because once you stick the wire in here, things get a little bit tight. So I prefer to strip outside and then put my wire in. And you want to push it in until this white sleeve is being crimped by the box. And I doubt you can see, but that white sleeve will actually hold in that box. And I can even let it go and it'll dangle there now. And now I can work freely. So I get my wires all lined out in the order I'm gonna do them. Copper first. And you push into this little piece until you see the copper come to the very end. You'll be able to visibly see it, so look for it. Then white, the neutral. Once again, push in. Make sure it goes all the way through, and you're good. And then our hot. Once again, push in all the way. Double check, looks good. Now with our wires all the way folded back in, we are ready to put our cover plate on. It just clips on the same way it came off. Make sure it's sealed tight, looks good. and then we put back up. Keep in mind, if you know you're going along, say, a truss or a joist or whatever, I don't want to stick this way. I want to stick it that way or this way, just not towards that, because you'll fight it the entire time. So shove it back in. Make sure our clips are all in the light. Goes in nice and snug. Sometimes you'll get grabs on stuff, so you just gotta kind of push it in a little bit. You may even have to bump it. And then push your tabs down. In order to set these clips, you lift them up in place, and there's a little nub right there that you put your screwdriver in. Punch it, and then lift up, and it'll seat it in real tight. And do it for all 4. There we go. And once they're sealed tight, your can light will feel good, and you're ready to go. One thing I want to make a note of that I didn't earlier is that you need to make sure the power is off to this circuit, not just a switch. You need to have power completely off to the circuit you're working with at the breaker box. That way you know for sure that there is no power, there's no chance of getting shocked. It just eliminates that. So I recommend doing that always, and power is already off for this breaker. There are 2 kinds of trim kits that you can get for can lights. There are one that everybody's kind of moving to now. It is all the LED, or there's another kind that has this ring as a separate piece and the bulb as a separate piece. That's what I put in my house originally. They're really outdated. Even only 10 years old, they are outdated. Everything is going to LED, so most likely it is going to look like this now. It is going to come with a plug-in setup that you just screw right in, and then little metal tabs. First thing you want to do is disconnect it from the LED strip. Screw it into your bulb system. Make sure it's firm and tight. There we go. Reconnect your LED strip. There you go. Plug that in. Now, here's the part where everybody gets messed up. Grab the 2 springs on each side and hold them firmly. If they flip out, they can hit you in the eye and that hurts. Set them into the corresponding clips in the can, and it'll suction right up to the ceiling. So if this was an existing room where you're just cutting in brand new can lights, boom, you are done and it looks great. Your wiring's all connected. Turn your switch on and see how good it works. All right, now with our light fully in place and our power turned back on, we are ready to turn on our switch and test to see if our light works. Here we go. And it works like a champ. Now we have that perfect nighttime mood lighting over the dishes, so you can be in the mood when you're doing the dishes, I guess. That's the whole purpose of it. I don't know. I really like this light. I'm excited to continue to put the rest of the can lights in. Not only do I enjoy the look of the recessed can lights, I really enjoy installing them, and it's really not that difficult of a task. If you have a fundamental understanding of electricity, now with this information, hopefully you're more than capable of installing some can lights in your own house. Good luck to you, and if you're interested in any of the tools that I've used today, I will link them in the description down below, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye guys. Well, what is this, you ask? A today's task hat? Do you want one? Of course you do. And did I just get a new order of hats in? I sure did. So if you want one, go to mytodaystask@gmail.com and ask for a hat, and I will give you the instructions on how to purchase one. See you guys. This will be an iconic can light. This will be an iconic light because this will be an iconic light. At least I think. I consider this light and and once it's fed in between the sheetrock all the way around. Since there are, you might not be as lucky. Is that recording? Is that even recording? With our flat. And if it's done properly, what the freak? Glow of those lights. Gosh, that's stupid.